Time is a precious commodity. People use it for all sorts of things. Some use it for work and other responsibilities. Me? I'm going to use time to talk to some really awesome people. I'm Sergio Barrera, and this is A Few Minutes With. Hey, everybody. Welcome to A Few Minutes with Susan. How's it going?
Hi, it's going great. How are you?
Doing great. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm fantastic. What about you?
I am also fantastic. What about you?
I'm just doing great. What about you?
And
good night, everybody.
Good night.
My goodness. There you go. That's our new intro.
The end.
Indeed. Yeah, here we are once again after 2 weeks, and somebody, I won't name any names,
I had a family thing,
but their name rhymes with Susan. You had a family thing last week, so
I did.
Hey, I tell
you do
that that your son's band did really well this weekend.
They did. My son plays at McNeil High School in Austin. This past weekend, they were on Tuesday, they played in the UIL regional marching band competition. They made it to the finals.
Yeah.
Which puts them in, after they performed in the finals, they made into the top 5, which puts them into the area competition, which is multiple regions around, and they made 9th place, in the area. Nice. And we were told this evening, he has marching band practice late on Tuesdays and Thursdays, like till 8 o'clock. And he told us tonight that they had a guest director come in, and he said, you guys, it was actually, a judge from one of those competitions. He says, you guys have a really good chance of getting into the finals of this other big competition coming up. So I'm really proud of him.
Nice. That's always awesome to see. So congratulations to Karen, if you'll tell him for all of us.
I will.
Well done. And continued good luck and success as he continues his year. This is his junior year, right? Or is it senior? It's his senior year.
Senior year, yeah.
Oh,
he's 17.
It's been wow. Time flies.
Indeed.
Yeah. So anyway, here we are. I want to say thank you to those who are already chatting in the chat. To Drew, we say hello.
Hello.
Kevin Sparkle Pants is there. Rasta's there. We love seeing everybody there. Thank you so much for being here. We appreciate you.
Yes.
We are here tonight to do as we always do, and let's talk about whatever the hell. I never know whether I can, because what I was about to say was I'm not a cussy or a big cussy person. That's not true, if I'm honest. So when I went to say whatever the hell we want to talk about, there's still that part of me that's like, it's a podcast. But then I'm like, but I listen to a ton of podcasts that get cussy. So how cussy are you, Susan? Like, if you had to give it a measure, how cussy would you say you are?
On the scale of kindergarten teacher to sailor? Wait, no. On the scale of kindergarten teacher to sailor?
Yeah.
I'm a rear admiral.
Is it Friday already? No.
Wow.
No, but explain that, because sailor, you're talking beyond.
Yes.
So that's the commander for the sailor. Gotcha.
Yes,
okay, cool.
There you go.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny because okay, what has become my most used phrase? I wish I had Jen on because she could tell you immediately. What if you had to guess, what is my most often used cussy phrase now in the last, say, year?
Guess I'll just fuck off then.
No, that's
another one.
That's not it.
Okay, well, that was my guess.
When something doesn't go well or something is up, what do you remember what I say?
You say a lot of things, so I can't. You're gonna have to tell me. You're gonna have to throw me a bone here.
Wow, this was a friendship test. I say, oh, I was giving you an opportunity to redeem yourself. Something happens. I'm like, oh, no.
Oh wait, hang on.
You know this.
Fuck a duck.
No. When have I ever?
No.
When have
Yes,
I ever
that's-
used fuck a duck? I'm a little disappointed.
Yeah.
I think we should let people try and guess what I say. What is my most cussy phrase? If you had to guess the phrase that I use to express frustration in some way.
I would like to, for the record.
Yeah.
He does say both of those things. Especially the thing that's
but they're not
I guess I'll just fuck off then.
But that's
Not
an inside
frequent.
joke. Like that's between, like, it doesn't get used in like everyday language because like in my everyday normal conversation, because it's a very specific, just like Is It Friday Already is a very specific jokey thing between you and I and, you know, others that are very close to us, like Cullen or, you know, Jen. I guess I'll fuck off then is our way of basically saying, I tried to help you, but I guess you don't need me, you know? So, yeah. Drew says,
Everybody wants
tables.
Everybody wants to know because, like, I'm scanning the Rolodex in my brain of all the things that you say that are cussy, and I'm like, too hard
so
to choose.
often it's probably become white noise to you.
I mean,
FFS.
Oh, for fuck's sake! You say that all the time. I mean,
that's what I just said. What did you just say? You say that all the time. Exactly.
But you say the other stuff all the time too.
No, not as often as this. Not as often as this.
Okay.
For fuck's sake has become, for good or bad, you know, if you are watching the show and you have a thing with cussing, I respect that. I'm sorry you're here because we're going to cuss. I'm kidding. I'm not sorry you're here. I'm glad you're here.
No, happy. Much happy.
We're happier. Yes, absolutely. No, I'm just saying that I understand some people have a like, what's the word I'm looking for?
Standards.
Unlike me. Is that what you're saying? That's what that sounded like.
Morals? I don't know.
Morals. We have
conscience.
Some people have a far better vocabulary than I do. And you know, some people don't like cussing, and I get it. I'm one that I like to be like, I like to meet out my cussing in like specific times, like in specific ways. But for some reason, that exclamatory phrase has, like, it's settled itself into my lexicon, my nomenclature, as it were. And I say it often, almost to a point where it's lost its power. It's just a phrase now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and that's part of the reason that I didn't recognize it as something that you were trying to hint at. But for me, I think, like, I can appreciate, you know, folks not wanting to use that language.
Sure. It's like when you say bollocks all the time. It's like every freaking day. So
I do not.
You do.
But I also know, for me at least, there are some, oh God, the word just went away, like punctuation. You can use cussing as punctuation.
Yeah, to punch something up.
Yeah. So it's not like,
so
it's got its place, I guess. Punctuation.
Would you say it's punctuation instead of
punctuation? Yes, 100%.
100%.
100%.
So yeah, I don't know how the heck we got it, but hey, welcome to the show, because that's what we do. What is your go-to phrase if you had one? Would you be able to identify it? You say criminy, you say bollocks.
I don't say criminy or bollocks.
You also say Jimmy
I don't think I've no.
I'm trying to help you out, because you got to feel you're not helping yourself. What is yours? Shit on a stick. That's another one of yours.
Not another one. Shit, I don't know. I didn't even think that. I don't know. Is there?
Isn't it weird? Isn't it weird how, like, we don't register the things that we say because we say them so often?
I do. Okay, so I
WTF, yeah.
I say that. I was going to say. So I say
a lot.
I do. I say it, but okay. And here's the thing. So there's a video. That is my number one. There's a video online of a parrot, and he's he's mimicking or talking to his, and it's like, what the fuck? And so that's I hear it in my head that way.
I thought you were talking about a parrot that dances to Backstreet Boys.
Yeah, I have that one too. The other one I say, for fuck's sake. I do that a lot. I add the funky accent to it, and not funky, but like in my case, it's funky for me. So
speaking of bollocks, I want to bring into usage like certain phrases that like the Brits use. Like I want to use the phrase, like I want to call my friends mates. I love that. When I'm watching a show that's set like, you know, I think of Guy Ritchie's The Gentleman. There's so much amazing dialogue written into that film that is just basic like lexicon and language that is not gonna, it doesn't land here. But like, you know, do you know what I'm saying? Like the use of the word mates for your friends in it, like for isn't it? Like I don't know what it is about the language that I love so much. What was yours?
No, I was just gonna say I was repeating in it. But like and something that you've shared with me, you've shared a couple of creators with me, and of course then I have to go down the rabbit hole and watch all of their videos. But there's word, like I don't even understand what they're saying part of the time, because it's like that is a made up word. That is a made up word. That is also a made up word. So
you're talking about Fuhad and James from
Fuhad and James, yeah.
Yeah, the great podcast.
Amazing, yeah. And
but you do have to like, yeah. Raw. You do have to. Yeah. Drew says after watching the Kingsman, I wanted to bring back Bruv. Dude, I'm with you, Drew. I will like Drew's one of my mates, by the way, and I would gladly bring Bruv. Fam is another one. Yeah. That but yeah, it's one of those things where like it's just cool, and I'm missing phrases, but yeah, I think we need to bring that into our language, you know.
I mean, you got to start. A trend's got to start somewhere. So
I guess we just do it, right?
Start it, make it happen.
Yeah. Okay, it's done. We're done.
It's done. Here we go. Good night, everybody. Yeah. We have some words to say.
It's funny because I can't think of like other examples right now. But I should have made them. Maybe we'll revisit that as a topic down the road. Like what phrases or words do we want to bring into our daily language, but from other cultures or other other groups of people. What's the word I'm looking for, Susan? Come on, you're the smart one.
Cultures. I mean, I don't
cultures?
know.
Okay.
Cultures. Countries.
Like I want to bring back ay caramba. I'm just kidding, not really. So no? Okay. I thought that would land. So
no.
Work with me here, Susan.
I'm trying, but
what phrase do you like? Work with. What phrase would you bring? If it was your choice, you could bring back one, or not bring back one, but bring one into the common, language here in the US.
Crikey.
Okay.
With the Steve Irwin accent.
Yeah.
Crikey.
You would do the accent and everything.
Yeah. And you have to pull the Crocodile Dundee and be like, that's not a knife.
Wow.
The knife.
Oh man. Yeah. So the word wanker definitely has to be used. And bollocks is, I have a list of British slang phrases. Knacker is
I'm
knackered means you're exhausted.
I know, but just keep in mind that if you're trying to stumble over a word, it could sound confusingly similar.
This is true. You got to be careful with pronunciation. Their word for dude is bloke.
Bloke, yeah.
And yeah, it's awesome. I love it. Apparently, Bob's your uncle is a phrase.
Yeah,
it's added to the end of sentences. Go ahead.
Like everything's okay, or like, and how's it's like, and there you go. Something like that, like it's something like that, yeah. So you're like, and then you put the ice in the cup, and then the water in the cup, and Bob's your uncle, glass of water or something. I don't know.
Wow. I'm looking it up because I've not heard that one. Uh, it's added to the end of sentences a bit like, and that's a bit like, and that's it. Okay, I see what you're saying. Okay, got it.
What?
I like that one. And Bob's your uncle. I didn't know that one.
Knows what she's talking about.
Rare,
but it happens.
You have taught us. So, and Bob's your uncle. I want to know where that. Now I got to study up the origin on that. So, yeah,
I'm not good on linguistics history, but
yeah,
the internet's got it somewhere, I'm sure.
I'm sure. Yeah, it's funny because I was talking to a friend of mine about, like, I'm 53 years old. Is going to school, going back to school, a thing that I should consider. And while it was the whole conversation ended with a question mark. I was like, oh man, but like, what would I want to study? What would I really want to do? Like lately, I wanted to. It's okay. Here's where it all started. So she came in. We were talking about the last couple of days, and she was my friend Julie. She was talking about how she had to work on her homework, and I didn't realize she was in school. So I was like, oh hey, that's cool that you're also back in school because our friend Rika is as well. And she was like, yeah, I was doing my algebra homework. And I was like, oh, wow. It's funny you say that because I hated math in school. Like when I was in school as a student, I hated math. Yep. But over the last few months, somehow I've decided that, you know what? What if I just sat down, got a book and tried to learn it, just for kicks there with no pressure of tests or anything like that, just to see, could I acquire that knowledge? And I shared that with her. And she's like, well, let me show you what I was working on this past week. And she started drawing an 8, but on its side. And these other symbols. I'm like, what is an infinity symbol doing in algebra? And she was walking. And I was like, that's algebra? Because I'm like, I can tell you honestly that I never learned anything that had the infinity symbol in algebra. And then it dawned on me, that's because my algebra was 30 years ago. Literally. So that was taken from my list of things to do and tossed into space behind me. So,
bye.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's funny that you mentioned. It's funny that you mentioned that. I was actually I'm having trouble with my phone, and so I had a pretty quiet drive home because music was cutting in and out and service was cutting in and out, stuff like that. So I was thinking about it, and I've been considering going back to school for my master's in nursing. I feel like I'm a little bit closer to making a decision on whether I will or not.
Yeah.
But not 100% yet. So we're getting there.
Yeah. I don't know. It's an idea that I toss about now and then, and it wouldn't be for any reason of and this is, people out there who studied and got their degrees, more power to them. That's awesome. And I applaud you, but it was never in the cards for me. I have been very, very fortunate to have gone through a career that next year will be my 30th year as a trainer and in the training world. And I've been able to accomplish a lot in terms of hierarchy and when stuff like that mattered to me personally. Now I just love teaching and I have the ability to do that. And so when I think about going to school now, it wouldn't be for, hey, if I do this, then I'll be able to climb this ladder. I don't want the ladder no more. Obviously I don't want grammar either. And so it would just be to sort of close the loop on that part of my life of saying, because I was 18 hours away from a degree when I stopped, pursuing it because I thought, hey, I'm going to be the best Walmart manager that ever existed because I was in their system. And 30 years later, I'm a trainer. That was not obviously the destiny, right? And so if I were to do it, it would simply be for my own learning pleasure. You know what I'm saying? And so then the question becomes, okay, so do you really invest that kind of money if it's just going to be for enjoyment and knowledge. I don't know I don't know if that's making any sense, but yeah.
I mean, I can understand that. So, because college, even community college, is not cheap.
Right.
And so you have to make the consideration on whether or not spending that money is gonna enrich your life.
Yeah.
Most people are willing to pay it because it's going to help them get a degree. That's going to help them get a better job. But for you, it's just for funsies.
Yeah.
If you ask me my opinion, and in the words of somebody very close to me that told me this recently, if you have a chance to enrich your life, you should absolutely do it.
Sure. That makes sense.
Yep. And also, I will never make fun of you for enriching your life. I will make fun of you for spelling mistakes.
Or for saying no more incorrectly.
Yeah. Grammar.
Yeah, grammar. And it's funny because in college, I was my major was in speech communication, and my minor was in English.
Is that why you talk good?
Specifically writing. Okay. Yeah, exactly. And so no, I really like. I haven't begun to look, but I thought, well, maybe there's just classes out there for like writing or for composition kind of stuff, because I do miss writing. I used to write a lot more than I do now. I'm walking around here lately with I bought a binder, and I have notebook paper, I forget the size of the binder, but it's not huge. It's like a 1.5 inch binder with notebook paper literally clipped in, and I've just been writing thoughts, and it reminded me, because it's been so long, that I used to write a food blog on it's now on what's that service called? WordPress. And I thought, man, maybe I should revive that. I don't know. We'll see. But I already have so little time for all the stuff I want to do. But I do miss writing. I love writing. And lately, and I just started doing this about 2 weeks ago, this ability, and my penmanship is horrible, but I have enjoyed taking time here and there, like either making lists or, writing out thoughts. And I'm like, you don't have to have a degree to be able to write. You know what I'm saying? Nope. It's in all of us if we choose to simply put pen to paper, or however we do it. For some reason, I get more satisfaction out of pen to paper than I do typing.
Yep.
I can write a banger of an email, but if I'm writing for personal reasons, I don't know. I have this pen I love that it just feels good. It's very therapeutic to just write, and
Okay. So before I go to the point that I would like to make, you need to show me this pen, because I am obsessed with pens. We've had this discussion. I need to write with it. So if I'm upset, I need.
If I remember to grab it from work, I'll bring it.
You better. Or take a picture of it, even. Like, just take a picture of it and tell me what
I'll send you a picture tomorrow. Yeah.
You better.
It's on my desk at work.
I completely agree with you. If it is a list, pen and paper, 100%. It depends on what the topic is as to whether I'm going to write it by hand or if I'm going to put it into type it into my phone. But I do have an amazing gift that was given to me by my amazing, wonderful husband a few years ago for Christmas, and it is called a Rocket Book. Now, this is amazing. I think I've shown you. You write in it, and then you take a picture of it with your phone, and it uploads to the Rocket Book app, and it keeps all of your notebooks together. And you can separate it by different, if you have different subjects, you bubble in the bottom, and then if you pay the I don't know, $40, $30 for the paid app. It has the ability to change your handwriting into typed.
Oh, I would stump that program so easily.
Yeah, I mean, but it's really fantastic. And then when you're done writing, you fill out a page, you take the picture. Mine is a wet erase, so it's special pens that come with it, and you get a wet washcloth, wet towel, just go, and it's gone. And you can write on that page again.
Gotcha. It's a very specific sound.
It is. That's the erasing sound.
And what it's called, a rocket what?
Rocket Book.
Rocket Book. Okay. That's okay. That's all right. We can post a picture
I usually have it with me. But yeah, and I do Yeah, I do a lot. I used to also like keep a journal, but not really a journal.
Yeah.
Just
I'm
random thoughts.
I'm leaning into the journaling thing here probably sooner than later because I don't mind sharing it. Hey, dude, and I say this for anyone who's listening in case you need it. Therapy's helpful. I'll just leave it at that. So, um, yeah, it's like you journaling is something that somebody suggested to me once, and I was like, I don't have time. But then like I said, this last few days, I'm like, I start writing, and I'm like, oh, okay, cool. I guess this
Yep.
is it's relaxing. I mean, I'm not saying I've written a bunch of stuff, but like I said, sometimes it's lists or I had a couple of thoughts that I wrote out it just earlier today over lunch, and I was like, wow, like okay, maybe there's something to this. Maybe there's something to this. That's why I got thinking about, well, if I want to write on a regular basis, maybe I can bring the food blog back, and because I used to write articles, food-based articles, and I always enjoyed doing that. And so maybe I'll revive that project. Who knows?
Yeah. I
But hey, oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
no, I was to say I also had a blog at one point, but
Of course you did. Is it called Of Course You Did? I'm just
no.
kidding. What was yours about?
Anything, everything.
Yeah.
I don't even.
like the show.
I would have to look it up and see if it even still exists. It may not.
Did
still
you do it
exist.
on what was it called?
WordPress?
Well, was it WordPress? Okay.
It was WordPress.
I was trying to think of the first platform I did mine on before I moved to WordPress. It's gone. It's gone now. But yeah, so there you go. And we were supposed to talk about zombie apocalypses. So speaking of zombie apocalypses, before we get into our main topic tonight, we probably should qualify, Susan, that we are by no means experts
No,
on planning for the zombie apocalypse.
anything at all. No.
So anything we say, we bear no responsibility for whether or not you survive. If you're watching and you take our advice, you're on your own. So
yeah, good luck. Also, yeah.
Also what?
No, I was just gonna say. Also, help if you see me running.
Yeah, because I'm behind her, getting eaten by in her time. So, so where this all began is I talked to you a few days ago, and I told you that I had a dream.
I remember that. Yeah.
In the dream, it's funny because I haven't dreamt about it. I don't know if you're the way I am, but when you watch like a series for a while, do you ever like watch so many episodes that it starts to sort of filter into your dreams?
Yes, it also happens with books.
Okay. All right. So you're in some form of media for long enough that you're like, well, of course I'm going to dream about this. Like anytime I stop and watch any amount of episodes of The Walking Dead, I inadvertently will start to dream about zombies. If I'm watching Game of Thrones, if I'm watching, whatever the show may, Star Wars, anything, it's going to influence what I dream. And the weird part about this one is that out of the blue, completely out of the blue, I had a dream a few nights ago that I was part of a group of people who were involved in a zombie apocalypse setting. And I forget the details of it, but I remember enough that I really wasn't able to explain to people what I needed. Like I walked into this location with my group of folks. You were there, obviously, because you're everywhere. And you know what I think did it? Honestly, if I think about it, I think it was the archery, dude. Like I think that was one of the things that sort of snuck in. And I'm not saying that to be funny. I'm being serious. I think that experience, because I remember as we were, that day we were shooting, I was like, oh man, like I would never be fast enough with a bow and arrow the way I see people do it on the show, right? Anyway, so I couldn't explain to people what I wanted because I don't know what guns are called. Like I know we needed guns, right? But I don't know the names of guns because I've never fired a gun in my life. And so I was trying to explain to the person that I didn't want anything that was going to make too much noise. So I was like, I don't want a gun that rat-a-tat-tats. Like I didn't know how to explain like because noise attracts zombies, right? And so
Right.
it was this hilarious, like, just Keystone Cops moment of chaos, of like, I didn't know what to call anything. Okay. And then, the dream ended shortly after that because I woke up laughing. And I got to thinking, I was like, man, I wonder what it would be like. How does anyone, you can't plan, you can talk about zombie apocalypse all you want, but you're never going to see it coming.
Nope.
And so, how does one plan? So let's start there. What the heck, man? How are we supposed to plan if we don't know the zombies are coming?
And I see. Okay, so I know that there's TV shows and everything about it, but like the preparedness, essentially, like being prepared for anything, anytime, is the way to do it. So, like, I'm not saying
in case it happens.
Yeah, like I'm not saying like build a fallout shelter in your backyard and stock it with non-perishables, but
Right.
like like Colin's saying, take a CHL class, learn to shoot a gun.
What is CHL?
Concealed handgun license.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yes, I gave you
chili no.
I gave you 2 guesses as to who has a CHL.
Probably anyway, both of you, I imagine.
Yeah.
And Drew says he's got my back, so therefore I'm fine.
Yeah, but what happens if
Drew goes down?
If Drew goes down, you're screwed. I was
you're screwed.
Screwed. Okay. I was trying really hard. But like knowing where stuff is, knowing where to find things. So like if you're like, oh crap, I have I don't know, I have a giant cut on my arm, you need to go to a pharmacy and you need to get what you need or whatever. Okay. I need, like
right.
that's kind of thing. And know where they are. If you're in a town that you're not familiar with, find it. Like, you don't have to like memorize your entire town, because I know finding things in your own town is difficult.
But you'd have to get to things early. Like you would be the perfect person to have on the team of people who are like your band of survivors, because as long as we got there early, because you're at one of the first places I believe you would want to go if you are having to like zombie apocalypse react is to a pharmacy.
Yep.
Because you're going to need medication. So like you would be perfect for the team because you know what stuff is.
Yep.
And where to grab it, right? But it's like in every zombie ever, show, movie, whatever, that's one of the first places to get emptied out.
Yep. And grocery stores and ammo shops. Like sporting goods stores, stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I think
we can't discount this. I'm sorry to interrupt your thought, but we have to include this in our thinking that knowing how to survive is far more important than killing a zombie. So
right, which is why we're talking about the first thing you want to do is grab medication. You want to grab food, and as crappy as it sounds, like if you have what you need and then you also have enough, then you've also got a way to get other things that you need by bartering. Trade.
Yeah.
What was it called? Bartering. Okay, whatever. And learning survival type skills. Like, we watch that guy on TikTok that makes anything, like everything. And they're like, hey, can you make blah, blah, blah? And he's like, yeah. And then he carves Donnie. Yeah, whatever. He's actually now on a syndicated show, I believe on like Discovery Channel or something.
Oh, that's right. He was going to do that.
Yeah. And so making rudimentary weapons, if you don't have a way to get to an ammo shop and get a gun, or you don't have a bow or whatever handy, you can make something. You can find a stick and make it sharp, and now it's a spear, but like that. So
well, I think another place that is going to get raided first is going to be gun shops and such for ammo and weapons. And I don't think Walmart doesn't sell guns anymore, I don't think, but I worked for them when they did.
I haven't seen Walmart, but Academy does.
Yeah. I'm going straight to the back area of Mission Ridge Range and Archery. I'm grabbing my recurve bow because look, when you have this to offer,
This again.
I mean, it's I mean, look at
I
that. Look
get
at that.
you.
The accuracy is just,
Yeah,
it's amazing.
it's exactly how that went.
I mean, you're gonna be good with the meds, and I'm gonna be good with the accuracy on the bow. We just need somebody like Drew who has weapons. Cullen as well. I mean, we're ready. Like we're good. I got MRE
Yeah.
stored. Like
You
still.
too.
I mean,
I forgot about that for the food show.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, and Cullen made. I don't know if you can. Here, I'll select. I can do it. Shelter first, then fire, then food, then water, then food.
Yeah. Can y'all make a fire? Because I can't.
Yes, he can.
Okay, good. Good.
I can accidentally make a fire if I'm trying to cook something. It's good.
Did you say accidentally?
Accidentally.
That's funny.
And how I mean, again, part of survival stuff is how to get what you need, but also to use what you have.
Yeah.
Like, because you're not going to always be able to, you can't always get what you want.
That's a song, by the way.
But if you try sometimes, you might find that you get what you need. So learning how to make, like I was saying, learning how to make weapons out of stuff that you can find on the ground, how to make a shelter out of stuff that you could find in your surroundings.
I just saw Cap. Very important point. Gotta have TV. Those are supplies I would not think of right off the top of my head. So
yeah, I mean,
good thing Cap will be there.
Yeah, good thing he'll be there. He's giggling over here in the corner. But some like someone who knows that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Like I can I build a shelter? Sure. Is it going to be really a great one and work functionally? Yeah, maybe. But then you've got Cap, who in every video game ever always builds a shelter. So he knows all about structurality. And building them structures and stuff.
He knows how to structurate. Got it.
He knows how to structurize. And then again, it's like knowing somebody who can grow plants, cooking food.
But see, and here that's what I think is so like one of the biggest things that once this whole zombie stuff became so popular, like I'm not a big fan of horror films, but I love me a good zombie movie, right? And I'm talking all the way back to George Romero's, what is it? Oh gosh, Night of the Living Dead, one of the first and greatest zombie movies still. And ever since then, I've loved zombie movies, and it's because, and this is what I think Captain was alluding to earlier. It's not necessarily, and this was so explored in the entire Walking Dead series and others movies that I've seen. It isn't really about the zombies. It's about the deterioration of the human, culture and element, and what it does to people when you're basically having to focus on surviving, and how it, it's the zombies are there to be feared for sure, but you end up fearing your fellow human, because everyone's mentality is going to change to survival, and it's going to totally be about survival of the fittest. And so, when I see these stories play out and communities grow, and so you proper zombie apocalypse planning has to include not protection necessarily from the zombie as the first priority, but the ability to plant yourself somewhere and sustain and survive.
Yeah.
Which makes it interesting that it becomes less and less about the zombie.
Yeah. And to your point, so it becomes survival and survival of the fittest and all that stuff. But the biggest thing to remember is that a cornered animal.
Oh yeah.
It's just like a cornered animal. When you're scared, you go to the extreme.
Yeah.
Kill or be killed. It's like that's tough. So
Yeah,
I don't know.
Drew makes a good point. He's seen all the survivors, so he's basically an expert. So
Yeah, basically an expert. Basically.
basically, yeah, basically the basics. So, but but that's the interesting part, because I literally, oh my gosh, my brain. I was literally going to say something to the effect of, forgetting that zombies were fictional. I was going to be like, so it's really important that we have a plan. I'm like, no, it's not. They're zombies. They're fictional. Uh, I'm taking this way too serious. No, it's interesting, because when you think about how we are as a society in these days and times we live in, I don't know how you bring. I wouldn't know where to start, like, to bring a community of people together and to somehow get them, like, the only unifying item that would exist if you put 10 or more people into a place and say, hey, build a community. The only unifying aspect would be survival from the zombies, because there would be so much infighting right from the start. You know what I'm saying? That it's kind of scary to think about how it wouldn't work, given how we think as a people today.
So I see what you're saying, but one thing that I think would help, or like that would maybe make it work, is you have to find someone who is a natural born leader,
Oh,
or
sure.
someone who like, you literally, the person, it doesn't even matter if they have the most qualifications or the least, or doesn't matter if they step up and say, okay, you do this, take command of the situation. And then once people start to ask, well, why are you in charge? Who said you could be in charge? Well, I'm the one that stepped up.
Yeah.
So,
and it's not necessarily because you have the biggest gun,
No, and it might be because you are a doomsday prepper, so you've run through this in your brain 16,000 times. It might be that you're a nurse and you see all these people that are hurt, and you start triaging people. So, or someone who can train. Hey, I can train you how to make these things after I've learned to make them myself, or I can learn, teach you how to do gardening. Like, everybody, like, as long as someone has it, someone becomes the leader and everybody's working with each other. It won't, it won't fall apart. But like,
no, that's a good point.
That's where you've got to get that started. You've got to get them working together.
No, absolutely. So let's put a little bit of structure to this.
Okay.
So I think that if you had to categorize zombie apocalypse planning into, like, what's the word I'm looking for? Boxes, or, there's a term I'm looking for. Categories. You would need, obviously, weapons, right? Which we'll get to in a second. I think you would need medicine.
Yes.
I think you would need food.
Yes. Water.
And let's just work. Well, water, yeah, obviously, water, right? But let's work through those three categories, all right? And so I want to get your opinions. What would be, Susan, and you can't say Archer because I've got that down as the video earlier proved. What is your go-to weapon if you pick two? What are your two weapons that you're gonna go, like, that you would, these, like, I'm gonna carry these, and these are my weapons of choice in a zombie apocalypse, keeping in mind that the only way to destroy a zombie is
shit, I don't know.
Oh my goodness. Okay, well, I'll be the leader.
I mean, I can lead. I'm just gonna be like, you guys do it.
You don't know how to kill a zombie.
Like, what do you kill them? How?
You have to kill the brain. You got to kill the brain.
Oh, okay.
You got to somehow kill the brain.
That was my thought was going to be, but like, I will ask this guy. One upon a time, I was part of a podcast, and my segment was called Susan Finally Saw, because I am terrible at watching movies. I don't like watching movies that much. I don't like zombie movies.
I was actually on that show earlier today, by the way.
A handful of times that I have watched zombie movies. So no clue.
Does anyone stand out? Any one of those stand out?
No. The only one that I can remember on a regular basis is Shaun of the Dead, and I hated that movie.
Oh, That's such a great
Stick-
one.
We're not starting.
Okay,
No,
no.
We're
That's
not.
that's
So-
a dangerous rabbit trail to go down.
Okay, so
Weapon of choice. Got to kill the brain.
I have 2 weapons.
2 weapons.
A Taurus 9mm and then a double-up buckshot shotgun.
Okay, I don't know what the first one is. Let me look it up.
It's a small handgun meant for little bitty baby hands.
So not a rat-a-tat-tat.
I mean, well,
Taurus,
no, it's
9mm
semi-automatic.
pistol. I want to see what it looks like.
It's little.
No, I believe you. I'm just okay. I'm just trying to
it's
have
like-
a frame of reference.
And
what was the other
that
one?
I don't. It's not a brand, but the double-aught buckshot shotgun.
Double. What is? How do you spell aught?
2 zeros.
Oh, so 300? No, 2 zeros.
2 zeros.
Shotgun.
080 shotgun.
Oh, it came right up.
And you don't need one of those fucking double barrel ones. That's dumb.
It's just showing me shells.
Well, there you go.
go.
A gun that shoots them their shells.
Got it. It's not showing me the gun for some reason. Anyway. All right. So yeah. All right. I would want in all honesty, I would want a one-handed axe. But I'd have to keep that thing sharp because you cannot afford to get the axe like stuck in like a zombie's head and then you're toast. And then I've never fired a gun, so you'd have to teach me. But really anything that has. Oh, that was another thing I said in the dream. I told the guy I told the guy that I was trying to get the guns from that I wanted to make sure that it had one of those insert. I literally said one of those inserty things with bullets. Because I couldn't think of the word clip in the dream. So, but yeah.
What about
in this whole
you
situation.
are not toast. You just need to hang out with the right people. Get you a warhammer.
A warhammer.
Get a warhammer or a mace
And the
or a
problem with
morning
that.
star.
No, the problem with that is that what if your first shot doesn't destroy the brain? An axe will do that. An axe will do that.
If your first shot with a warhammer doesn't destroy the brain,
it could glance off and not be full impact. I mean, that's a heavy thing. Are you talking about a 2-handed warhammer or one-handed? Either way, a blade is going to do far more damage because it's going to slice and slash.
No, not exactly. Okay, so let me give you a scenario then.
I can't have my own weapon. I got it. Okay. Cool.
You get your own weapon. You're gonna die. So consider this. Okay. You are in 3 or 4, 5 zombies. Okay. You start swinging your axe. Okay. Bone is hard.
Yeah, but at that point I pull my arrow and I do those moves you saw earlier today. So
okay. So how long before your axe that you've dutifully kept sharpened will dull out because of hitting the skull? You're gonna get stuck. But a hammer is not sharp and does not get dull. And even if you don't kill the brain on the first shot, you've at least got them off, like, you've knocked them over.
But you don't think that swinging a heavy warhammer like that is going to be much more like laborious?
Depends on the one you have.
Fight? Oh,
so you have what kind of axe did you have? A single-handed axe?
Yeah.
So why not have a single-handed warhammer?
Well, I guess you could.
Have you not seen single-handed sledgehammers?
No, I've seen them. I actually have a warhammer right there that I'm going to use in a few weeks.
Okay, but even a forging hammer, a 3 pound?
Yeah.
Our forging hammer is a 3 pound. If you swing that with enough force,
yeah.
I mean, there are freaking unsolved mysteries, true crime forensic files about people using those even regular carpentry hammers.
No, I get that. I just wonder if when you're surrounded by more than one, if you would get tired swinging. We have some interesting entries. Our friend Rasta says his choice would be titanium baseball bat and a Beretta APX.
Yes.
Again, another term I'll have to look up.
Titanium is a
Drew
metal. It's really light and it's
says
really hard.
Drew says AR-15 with a 9mm sidearm.
9mm. Master
And
Race.
I don't think Captain Parker Pan is going to use a baby sledge, but I think he's
Maybe
just,
that's what I was talking about. Is
I
the
know, I'm
one-handed
kidding.
sledgehammer?
I'm joking. Let's see, what else do we got? Oh, okay. Well, that's our army for now. So,
I mean, we've got a, let's see, automatic, semi-automatic assault rifle, 2 9mm, shotgun.
I'll bring the MREs. So
baseball bat. I know you need somebody to cook. That's your guy right there.
Yeah, because we also got to talk about the food category. So obviously, I think in the long term, we're going to have to learn how to grow food.
Mm-hmm.
But in the immediacy of things, what are the foods you think that we would have to go with? Like, what should we have on hand right away?
Rice and beans. Why are you laughing? Oh my god!
Because of our conversation about rice earlier this week or this past weekend. I made a never mind. I can't say it on there.
Do not.
But yeah, no, it's very versatile. Rice is versatile.
Well, I know, and right, like there are cultures that have survived on essentially just rice, or very little else. I also think that, yeah, like rice and beans both are versatile and they can have it. It would be really hard to maintain having animals.
I would, yeah, that's true. And well, yeah, no, absolutely. You'd have to have a very secure area of the world that you have behind fences and stuff. But I think somebody said it. You have to have the ability to, as Captain Sparkle was, forage, garden, and scavenge. And I think in the early days, it's going to be scavenge first. You know.
I think the earlier that it is, the easier it's going to be to find stuff, because not everybody has.
It's great that Drew's on our team because he's going to make sure he brings his Subway sandwiches. So we're set, at least in the early days. So, and
honestly, like with cooking and stuff, you and I have watched that guy that cooks outside. So
yeah, we'd be set. I would have to, but see, now here comes your first point of conflict that's going to arise in our community, because I prefer Firehouse subs to Subway, and so Drew and I are going to have to fight about that. So, already we've got problems.
Hey, let me give you a nugget of wisdom that was given to me not very long ago. If someone is offering to buy or bring, you get what you get and you don't throw a fit. So if you're offering to buy,
if we're scavenging, and I have a choice between Subway and Firehouse, I'm telling you right now, I'm going to Firehouse. So
great.
Priorities, man. I'm going to tap into your pharmacist brain. What medication do we need? Like, what do we need to have on hand?
Antibiotics, for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, that's really the number one thing. Antibiotics.
But like, give me names. Like, what are they called? What are you looking for? You're on the shelf. You got to move fast because the zombies are coming. What are you grabbing?
I'm gonna grab.
This won't get you in trouble, will it? I'm trying to think about it.
Okay. Amoxicillin.
Okay.
Any kind of penicillin type of thing. Amoxicillin, probably a sulfa, so like Bactrim, or like what sulfamethoxazole and trimethoprim combination, and maybe some Levaquin.
Levaquin, what is that?
Levofloxacin. It's a quinolone antibiotic.
Oh, okay, got it. So all antibiotics.
Yeah. Though, I mean, if you're telling me that I have to grab how many things can I? I mean, those are really.
You have a bag. You have a large bag that you're going to fill.
Oh God, then I'm going like this. No, I'm gonna.
Well, because I'm thinking like, okay, well, but you got to grab insulin, I'm sure, for people who may need it.
That's true. I mean, I don't personally. I didn't think about that because I'm not diabetic, but
right, and it's about you. Yeah, I get it. So,
but that's I mean,
look at that. I'm already in conflict with 2 people in the party. So.
Yeah. So antibiotics for sure. I guess diabetic supplies and diabetes. Okay, really quick. Quick.
What are silver sticks?
So silver
is that for vampires, like steaks?
No. they are a basically really long one-ended Q-tip that are impregnated with silver nitrate, it stops bleeding.
They're what?
They're long.
Did you say impregnated?
Yes.
Very interesting.
They're dunked in silver nitrate. Okay. So really quick, I want to address this. Okay. This, Drew, do you have any idea how close you are to an actual drug? There is a drug called moxifloxacin. And
Y'all are just making sounds now.
I am not moxifloxacin. And I have told Cullen the next creature that comes into our lives and we become family with is going to be named moxifloxacin, and you can call it Moxie for short.
I think you're just saying stuff.
I'm not. Look it up. It's called Vigamox.
Wow, that's interesting.
Vigamox. So I think definitely, a lot of all the broad spectrum antibiotics, because you don't really need the specialized antibiotics.
Yeah.
Insulin would be great to grab for bartering, but the issue is that it needs to be refrigerated. So how are we going to maintain refrigeration?
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, like, if all the electricity goes out and everything.
Okay, is he just being funny?
Yes.
Okay, good. All right, because I was like, what the heck is that? All right. Okay, do we bother with transportation? Because I'm thinking in the long term, fuel is a premium. That's probably one of the first things people are going to fight over, right? So am I going to become a walker?
Get an ATV. Here's I have a question.
But you need several.
We'll need several. But like, okay, question for everybody who watches these zombie movies. Why are all the cars stopped on bridges, all like cattywampus and blocking the road?
Because people are trying to get out.
Why do they catch on fire?
Huh?
Like, why are they burned out? Like, why are they caught on fire? Like, what catches them on fire?
Okay, not to make light of an occurrence, but just yesterday there was a 150 car pileup on a road in Louisiana, and when you start getting cars crashing into one another, things start unfortunately exploding, and so there is absolute, like, when it comes to like those kinds of images in zombie movies and so forth. That's literally, it was the super fog that did it. But that's literally what happens is you've got people trying to like leave the big cities and so forth. And so it clogs up the highways and it's all askew because people are trying to think about the panic that would set in, right? And how it would cause people to try to force their way through. And then you've just got, beyond gridlock, really,
So to be okay, obviously I can understand that. I do. I can understand that. But in any time that I've been anywhere that we've had to evacuate, it's always been like, you just stay
relatively
in your car.
Orderly. Yeah.
Relatively orderly. And
sure.
Not,
in a normal situation, yes.
In a normal
Not
situation,
normal,
yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Under
like a hurricane.
Right.
Yeah, I think of the roads like, when the couple times we've been to Corpus for like Derby and stuff, there's those literally on I-10 coming in, they have the hurricane lanes.
Hurricane lanes, yep.
Yeah, there's literally a structure for that kind of thing, like for evacuation, as you're saying. I think in the world of zombie apocalypse, it's like people just get chaotic, right? And so, and I think we can agree that in any situation that is not well managed, if panic sets in, all bets are off as to what can happen.
Yeah, that's understood. So getting a vehicle would be a good idea, but then you have to scavenge fuel.
Right.
So you need to find someone who knows how to siphon fuel out of tanks.
Well, but then eventually fuel runs out.
Yep.
And maintenance becomes almost impossible. So I'm thinking, in my estimation, I think planning would be sort of the low priority item.
That's a luxury.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That's a luxury. I think things to gather as well. So like fishing equipment.
Oh, sure.
In addition to your hunting equipment, but also you're going to need to know how to process your quarry in terms of, do you know how to fillet a fish?
Are you asking me?
If you say, yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I've learned.
Okay. Do you know how?
But don't ask me to process a like a deer. I mean,
I was to say, do you know how to process a deer? Or do you know how to gut a deer?
I can debone a turkey, but that's about where it ends for me. I can literally do that, by the way.
I know. We've had this conversation.
I debone a turkey about as good as I shoot arrows, like from that video earlier. So you do know that video is going to continue to make appearances now and then.
Yes, right? Yes. I'm going to
I'm going to find ways
to hack into your computer, hack into your computer and delete it.
Wow. I can't decide what to drink from, by the way. So
I know. I was like, what are we?
I keep forgetting that this is now warm. So here we go.
Yeah, but I mean, I think you're right. I think
it's best if a zombie apocalypse does not happen. That's what I'd say. Yeah.
I mean, that would be ideal. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's not let it happen.
Let's keep it non-zombie.
That's right.
And I was watching, I can't remember what movie it was I was watching or like TV or show, something that was like, do you know how hard it is to get bitten? No, it was Basement Yard. He's like, I wouldn't get bitten. Do you know how hard it is to get bitten?
Oh yeah. No, seriously, I've always and somebody said earlier, I think it was Rasta who said, and I don't understand the reference because I've not played the game, but I think he said unless they were DayZ zombies. Are they faster? Like, is that?
Yeah. I mean,
because there's different, like Romero zombies, the originator and king of zombie movies, George Romero. They amble.
Yeah. They're the
when you get into like World War Z, which I think, okay, I see what Ross is saying now. World War Z, or I know that 28 Days Later was not zombies. It was like a rage something or other virus, but still same concept. They're much faster, right?
Yeah. They move like normal people.
Exactly. Well, and faster. Then there's The Walking Dead, which actually introduced the idea of like different types of, and so speed, is not always the thing, but anyway, there's this whole thing. I would like, my preference would be that if there's going to be a zombie apocalypse, let's go with traditional George Romero ambling zombies, because then what Frankie and Basement Yard is saying, they're easy to outmaneuver because they're slow. So
even if they're the fast ones, if you shoot them in the leg, they will be slow, or like kneecap them.
Yeah.
Not because it hurts, but because it does. But also, it'll knock them over. But then, you actually destroy the structure of being able to move.
Yeah, this is true.
I know bones and muscles and stuff.
The cool part to what Captain Sparklepants is saying when he says they are smart. One of the coolest things I loved about the progression of the Romero movies and those who have been influenced by was the notion that eventually zombies would start to acquire the ability to learn even the most minute things, like just by seeing repetition of the humans that they kill. Like eventually they pick up those habits, right? And so it's kind of a, you're talking about evolution of, because once the zombie apocalypse happens, I don't believe there's going back. Like there's always this, like, we got to find out what causes it. Doesn't matter, they're there.
But if you kill all of the zombies,
which you won't.
But I'm just saying, if you do, wouldn't that end it? Like, wouldn't that reverse it? Like, you know what I mean?
Well, sure. But you have to believe that at some point, the rate of which people will still get bit will probably keep up with any sort of reproduction that goes on. You know what I'm saying? Like, for every person that may be born, you're still getting that many people who are still going to get bit and therefore become zombies themselves. It's weird. I mean, it's weird to think, because what's the world now? 7 billion people, I think.
Yeah.
And if we're talking Resident Evil kind of spread, then
my thought is zombie apocalypse. Okay, it doesn't start with a million people like being zombies all of a sudden. It starts with one, patient
I
zero.
don't know. Well, no, yeah, it starts with one, sure.
Patient zero. So patient zero tends to be in a hospital or a lab or something. Just fucking nuke the thing.
Right, but the idea is that some sort of event happens that causes people in that lab to be infected, and then they run out to escape it and thus continue to spread the antigen or the virus, whatever. And that's how you get the multiplication across,
Firebomb from
But what about those that get out?
if they're close enough, firebombs from space.
All you need is one from space. From space. All you need is one to get out of the facility, and that will exponentially, become a problem. So,
like, my thought is just like, okay, look, if you get
would have had
bitten,
to.
don't freaking leave.
Plus, no, don't freaking leave. People's sense of survival is going to kick in, like, because they're not going to. They're going to be in denial that, well, maybe I'll be the one that doesn't get it. That's one of the great things that The Last of Us does. It introduces the notion that some won't be infected, right?
Yeah.
And so then there's that doubt that would cause in people who are bitten to say, well, maybe I'm one of those, and they go about their business, and then it's spread from there. So
see, and maybe that's the other thing. Knowledge is power.
Yeah.
So I know if I get bitten, even if it's not from a zombie person, I'm going to quarantine. And if I start doing weird shit, I fully expect somebody on my team to bring me to a swift, painless death.
I completely understand what you're saying, and it's clearly evident that you haven't watched enough zombie movies, but I understand.
Nope.
It makes sense.
But I also know me. Like, I would be a bummer to hang around. I'm gonna die. Just kill me now. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Woe is me.
Cabin Sparkle Pants is asking, which movie was it that ended in Africa? I think I know what he's talking about. Marvin Freeman. No, Marvin Freeman was in this movie that it was a zombie movie, not the baseball player. Martin Freeman. It is actually a very heartbreaking film. And I want to say that they end up actually in Australia. I could be wrong, though. I'm not going to be able to find it in the time we have remaining, but because we're already over time. But the name of the film, if I can get it real quick, is called Cargo. If it's the one he's talking about, it's called Cargo, and they actually it ends in Australia. So
he says it cuts to a distant future where zombies are smart and humans are basically cattle.
Maybe it's not that one. I don't know. I can't remember, but now I got to look it up. So, all right. Well, thus, Susan, the qualifier before we started that we have no experience whatsoever in planning for zombie apocalypses. So, at best, we speculated. So,
yeah. So
if a zombie apocalypse does happen, and you've been listening to us tonight, whatever we've said, do what you need to do, because we can't stand behind what we suggested. So
if we gave good advice and you followed it and you lived, then you're welcome.
Awesome.
If we gave bad advice and you didn't survive, well, you shouldn't have listened to us in the first place.
That's right. This is your fault. So
there you go. This is your fault.
Indeed. So the opinions of Sergio and Susan are not to be followed in the case of a zombie apocalypse. You're on your own.
Necessarily.
So, yeah. All right. Well, with that, we're going to draw this episode of A Few Minutes With to a close. Remember, if you are looking for life advice, zombie apocalypse or other, listen to us, but don't necessarily trust us. So Susan, we'll be back next week, I believe.
Yes, as far as I know.
Yeah. In fact, we're just a couple of weeks away from our trip to, what is the name of the town? I can't think of it off the top of my head, but we're headed to the Texas Renaissance Fair. And so I'm sure after that we will return. We'll probably talk about that in the episode the week after that. So we'll have a Renaissance Fair episode down the road here in a few weeks. What other exciting things are happening? I'm trying to think of something else. Oh, I probably should share for those who are watching. Yeah, that's right. For those who are watching, if you follow my social media, then you'll know that earlier tonight I did share briefly that I was not going to be able to complete the Death Nut Challenge. There's a whole video up on my social media if you need to take a look. Apologies have been made and channel points have been returned. But I need to err on the side of caution when it comes to my health. And so we'll find other ways to do spicy challenges, Susan, that won't involve potential, death is too dramatic, but, harsh results, let's say.
Ripping a hole in your stomach lining.
Yeah, I'm disappointed, but it's a situation of make the right decision, not,
Not the fun decision.
Don't get crazy. So, anywho, enough about me. So anything else coming up soon that I forgot to talk about?
We will be off for the 31st.
Oh,
is that correct? So
maybe
that is next week.
Maybe next week. I should. Yeah. And thank you, Kevin Sparkle. I appreciate you saying so. Yes, next Tuesday is my anniversary, and therefore that is probably going to be the reason we'll be off. But stay tuned, because there might be a chance, if Susan and I can pull this off, that we will have a pre-recorded episode of A Few Minutes With. We have been talking about doing that, and we're setting up the structure of how to do that. But at the very least, in the next couple of days, we will have a decision made, and we will announce. But yeah, we will have to. If we do a show live next week, it would be on Thursday, because next week, Tuesday, is my 31st anniversary, and I probably shouldn't miss that to do a show. So
no.
I was going to say
another
right decision instead of a fun decision. That wasn't going to be.
That's you're going to have fun. Okay, I'm going to tell Jen you said that. You're going to be in trouble.
Oh man, it's the right decision, and it'll be a fun decision. So, but yeah, So thank you for reminding me about that, Susan. My anniversary is next Tuesday. So we're probably, if we do a live episode, it'll probably be Thursday. I'll check with your schedule. But if not, then if we do a pre-recorded episode, then we will make sure to let you guys know with plenty of time, so you can check it out when you have a moment. So, Susan, it's been great. Thank you as always for all you bring to the show.
Awesome. Thank you for having me on this show. I mean, being my buddy. It's our damn show. I am. Right. Well, you're stuck. You have to deal with me.
That's true. Fired.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, yeah, always. All right. Well, on behalf of Susan and I, always remember, you guys, we love you tremendously. We want all the best for you. Be gentle with yourselves as you prepare for the spooky holiday. If you enjoy and celebrate it, please be safe. Yes. Whatever choices you make, whatever you decide to do it smartly, and do it with think about yourselves and all of us who love you. And more than that, as we always say to you every week, you're awesome. You're amazing. And the world's a better place because you are in it. We will see you again soon here on A Few Minutes With. Good night, everybody.